Hello, I'm Alex.
And I'm Kyle.
And we forgot to talk about the Doctor Who Christmas special.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to do that, huh?
Intro.
Oh, and this is second look.
Yeah. So, we completely dropped the ball on this one. We did not talk about the Doctor Who Christmas special when it came out. And we are giant Doctor Who fans, so...
It's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
But it came out Christmas Day. When is either of us going to find the time to record a video on Christmas?
Well, yeah, I was busy playing Skyrim and Doom.
Yeah. I was busy doing other things.
Anyways. So this is the episode where the 12th Doctor meets the 1st Doctor, played by David Bradley, who was reprising his role from An Adventure in Space and Time, where he played William Hartnell playing the 1st Doctor.
So we played a man playing the Doctor?
Yeah.
Alright.
It was a making of movie.
Yeah.
It was really good. Might talk about it for the channel someday. Loved that movie.
Oh, is that the one that we watched?
Did we ever watch it?
I believe we did.
Ending really hit me right in the rib cage.
I have nothing.
But, yeah. This is David Bradley as the 1st Doctor meeting the 12th Doctor played by Peter Capaldi. And this is one of the... I think the 1st Doctor has actually been recast a couple times now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And I have to say, I really love multi-Doctor stories.
So do I. They're really fun.
Yeah, just seeing the Doctor interact with himself.
It can make for an interesting thing.
Yeah. And I think that David Bradley and Peter Capaldi really...
They're a lot alike.
Yeah. And they were trying to play up the differences, like 12's over-reliance on silly gadgets.
Yeah.
I love that bit about, what are those? Sonic sunglasses. Indoors?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I honestly think that this episode would have been better if it was 1 and 11.
It also would have been better if one wasn't constantly being racist and sexist.
Oh, come on. Was he ever racist?
Yes. He made comments about Bill being black, I believe.
I do not remember that. All I remember is the sexism.
I believe he did. He did a lot of sexism, but I think he made 1 or 2 comments about Bill being black.
Well, there are a few kind of racist Classic Who episodes.
Well, yeah, that's because that was a natural back in the time.
Yeah.
The show was over 50 years old.
I think there was a 4th Doctor story called The Talons of Wang Chiang, or something like that. And it was basically and from what I've heard, the Chinese characters in that were basically just Ching Chong Bing Bong.
Ching Chong Bing Bong, Daddy's got your ding dong.
God damn it, Kyle.
I created that for a slogan in my culinary class for a Chinese restaurant.
God damn it, Kyle.
Was rejected.
Anywhom, my headcanon about this whole Doctor being racist and sexist in the past thing is because he's traveling with a companion from that era, he's doing his best to acclimate to that companion's culture, if that makes any sense.
No.
Well, you know what I mean?
I know, but I get what you're saying. I disagree with it.
Yeah, that's just my headcanon excuse because the Doctor can do no wrong.
Yeah, he can.
You know where I'm going. It's a joke.
I know.
That's how I rationalize it, at least.
The Doctor was just a douche back then.
Oh yeah, he was.
That's how I rationalized it.
Yeah. And I would have been fine with this if they maybe toned it down by like 50%.
Yeah. It's like every 5 minutes the Doctor's making some sort of comment.
The woman made of glass. I want tails.
And then they had another dude in there from World War I who was...
Yeah, the Brigadier's great uncle or something.
Yeah. Just as sexist.
That made sense. He was from World War I.
At first I thought he was Hitler.
That was just a popular mustache at the time.
But I thought he was Hitler. I really did. I thought, oh, they're bringing back Hitler. I thought they killed him like 3 seasons ago. 4. 5. 4. Somewhere between 4 and 5 seasons ago. Maybe 6.
Are you referring to Let's Kill Hitler?
I am.
They did not kill Hitler!
I know. But they wanted to. They almost did, they prevented Hitler's death.
Yeah.
Accidentally. That's for a different episode, though.
Anyways, I think that the stuff with the captain, the guy, the Brigadier's great uncle or whatever, I think that was really good, except there was just too much Bill.
I just didn't like Bill as a companion.
Yeah. Racist, sexist, homophobe.
It had nothing to do with any of
Yeah.
that. She was too modern, and one of her first episodes was about her robots who spoke in emojis.
Yeah.
I didn't like Clara that much either, but I like Clara more than I did Bill.
Yeah. At least Clara had a mystery instead of character development
Exactly.
when Bill got nothing.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Basically, if they had left Bill out of it and made it just about 112 and the captain, I would have liked this episode a lot better.
Yes, I agree.
The bits with the captain were amazing when he wasn't being sexist.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically,
I feel like
this-
the episode could have been better, though, if they left out the captain, and it was just between 1 and 12. Because the whole thing with them both going to the same point to stop the regeneration, I feel like it still could have been good if it was just between those two.
Yeah, but the bit with there were a lot of really good bits with the captain, like the
There
bit in
were.
the crater where has the German guy, where him and the German guy are holding each other at gunpoint, and he's saying, "You might kill me in self-defense. I might kill you in self-defense. I made my peace with dying.
Yeah.
I wish you spoke English, or I spoke German."
Yeah.
Or the bit where the doctor accidentally lets it slip that there's going to be another world war. That was a really good scene.
It was, like, but I can see how we could actually let that slip, because we call it nowadays World War One.
Yeah.
Back then, it's just... Wasn't it like the Great War or something like that?
Well, people now say they called it the Great War back then, but then they just called it International Skirmish 3. I made that up.
I know.
Do they, though?
Dideth they, thou shalt not sin.
Anyways. And basically, there's this glass people thing that's basically doing what Missy did in season 8, except it's not evil.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the idea of the Doctor not having to stop a thing for once. Like, he's always so cynical about things now, about how, oh, this is definitely an evil plot. Oh, it's not an evil plot. I honestly don't know what to do now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of mixed about bringing back Rusty. What did you think about that?
Rusty.
The good Dalek.
Oh, yeah! You know, I remember the good Dalek. I was kind of happy they brought him back. So as soon as as soon as I realized that was Rusty, it was sort of like nostalgic. It's like, Rusty!
I remember.
I remember.
Remember Rusty?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
It was
but-
sort of nostalgic. I really enjoyed the fact they brought back an old character. Well, not that old, but still they brought back an old character.
It's no Captain Jack.
Yeah, Face of Bo. But I was excited to see Rusty back.
Yeah. I'm a bit mixed on it. I'm glad to see him again, I guess, but it wasn't really needed.
Yeah.
Felt like it was just stalling for time.
Could have been. It honestly wasn't needed, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I feel like if they kept this to an hour, a lot of this, they could have just cut out the bit with Rusty, cut out a few of the other bits, make it a bit more compact. I feel like that would have been a lot better as an hour episode.
Yeah. Wasn't it an hour episode?
Hour half.
Okay, 'cause they also had like a 2.5 hour long episode where the second half was behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
I stopped as soon as the main episode ended and behind the scenes stuff started.
Yeah. And what do you think about the Christmas armistice bit at the end?
You'll have to refresh me.
Did you even watch it?
I did.
Where basically,
For those who don't know what happened,
the Doctor wibbly wobblies the frozen time. He basically using multimodal reflection sorting or some other technobabble. He basically makes the frozen time be a bit in the future or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So that the Christmas armistice will happen and save
right,
the Brigadier's uncle or whatever.
I remember that. I do remember that. I actually enjoyed that scene. It was one of that point in history right there is actually one of my favorite points in history. Just the fact that happened.
Yeah.
And so I was happy that they mentioned it in the episode.
Yeah. This whole episode, it had a very... the main theme of it seemed like there is good in the universe. Not there is good in the universe. The benevolent plot, the Christmas armistice.
Well, it was a Christmas special, so it makes sense that the whole moral of the story is there's good in the universe.
Oh yeah. But with Doctor Who, all we're ever seeing is all the evil shit.
Yeah. No, I do like the fact that they brought that scene and they brought that point in history into the show.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite points in history. The fact that, yeah.
What's your favorite point in history?
Yeah. I know most people think Germany during 1930s is one of my favorite points, but no.
I think one of my favorite points in history was the day JFK got assassinated.
Why is that?
Well, because Doctor Who also premiered on that day.
That's true, it did.
Yeah.
No, it's just the both sides coming together for Christmas will always be my favorite point in history.
And, so, what did you think of the regeneration scene?
I liked it. He wasn't as surprised as I thought it would be that he regenerated and became female. Like Matt Smith, he felt his ears like, I'm a girl! No! I was expecting something like that. One thing that I'm torn on, I don't know whether to like it or not like it, was the fact that he was going through, or Capaldi was going through and saying the final words of at least Eccleston through Smith.
Well, that was like before, that was in the episode before this, though. When he was about to regenerate and then he stopped.
No, well, yeah, but who's about to regenerate? He's like, I don't want to go. Then he said whatever Matt Smith said. I always remember when the Doctor was me, and he's just going through saying all the stuff that the previous Doctor said. I wasn't a big fan of that part.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with you on that. And I'm not a fan of this regeneration speech. I do like that it was a speech to his next self.
Yes.
And, because I've just giving himself advice that he probably would have figured out by now. Because she's he, Z.
She is the Doctor and the Doctor is she. We all live together in a fiberglass tree.
She is the Doctor and the Doctor is he. We all live together in a fiberglass tree.
Yes.
And I didn't like the speech. The whole, only children can know your name when the stars are aligned perfectly. That was just...
Capaldi himself as the Doctor was really overdramatic.
Yeah, that was cheesy. Like, Matt Smith's exit was cheesy, but it was a good kind of cheesy.
Yeah, I always remember when the Doctor is me, and then one last look at the last face that his face...
Kidneys! I've got new kidneys!
Yeah, I love how it just goes from, I'll always remember the Doctor is me.
Kidneys! I've got new kidneys!
Yeah, I don't like the color of your kidneys! And so I'm kind of excited to see, what's the newest actress's name?
Jodie Whittaker.
Jodie Whittaker. I'm excited to see what Whittaker brings to the table.
Yeah.
I had high hopes for her ever since I found out she was going to be playing the Doctor. Yeah. I don't know what to expect, though.
Yeah, I didn't like the speech, but I liked the regeneration.
So did I.
Last shot we get of Capaldi is his eyes. First shot we ever got of him, then it's also the last shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the bit with Capaldi's ring falling off. That just...
I liked it, but it was also... It was like, oh, because it's the end. It signifies the end of Capaldi, the ring falling off.
Yeah, the ring drop is his mic drop.
Basically.
And I remember hearing this somewhere, but I remember hearing that was Capaldi's actual wedding ring or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If that's Capaldi's actual wedding ring, they better not have lost that when dropping it.
Yeah, because there's like holes in that floor.
Yeah, no, see that? Like, they're gonna lose Capaldi's ring.
Yeah.
I am excited to see what the newest TARDIS is gonna look like.
Yeah.
I don't know if yeah, never mind.
Well, yeah, and it took me a couple times to figure out what exactly she said when she first regenerated. It was like, Oberant! And I was like, she was like, Oberant! And I'm like, what is that? It took me a while, but I found out that that was Oh Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
I had to, yeah. And then she just falls out of the TARDIS because we're contractually obligated to have a TARDIS crash every regeneration now.
Well, every regeneration, the TARDIS regenerates. And, yeah.
Not
didn't she sort of destroy the TARDIS while regenerating?
No, she didn't, like, blow it up like David Tennant to Smith did.
Yeah.
It just kind of...
Because I thought
she just kind of shorted out the controls or something.
Yeah.
And accidentally ripped off a lever, and then she fell out and it teleported away.
That's right, it did.
And here's just my prediction. I think Jodie Whittaker is going to be one of the shortest-lived Doctors.
Why is that? I have an idea of why, but why is that?
Well, she's going to fall a mile. She's going to regenerate when she hits the ground, Kyle.
See, I'm
What did you think I was saying?
See, I thought you were going to the fan base being pissed off that there's a female Doctor. Because I'm all on board for that. I got no problem with that. I have high hopes for Jodie. But there are a lot of people who are really pissed about that. There are a lot of people who are saying that they're going to stop watching the show because of it. But then again, there are a lot of people who threatened to move to Canada if Trump became president. So.
Yeah. And a lot of people said they were going to quit when Capaldi when Smith became Capaldi.
Technically, I was the only one that stayed loyal to that, only because they took Netflix. They took Doctor Who off Netflix.
Shame. Shame.
I came back once I got DVR.
Shame.
I got back into the fandom near the end of Capaldi's cycle.
Shame.
It may have been near the end of Capaldi's cycle, but I got back into the fandom.
Yeah, I have literally no expectations, to be honest. Because people are saying, like, oh, the Doctor's a woman now, this is going to be brilliant. Oh, she's a woman now, this is going to be terrible. Scree, read. That's basically how the fandom is right now. I'm like, you haven't even seen her yet. Give her 5 minutes on screen.
And we got the Doctor as a female, the Master is female, and River Song. Those fanfictions are going to be absolutely brilliant.
Also, I've got a conspiracy theory here. So, have you ever heard of Doctor Who: The Curse of Eternal Death or something like that?
I have not.
It was a short. It was the first thing for Doctor Who Moffat ever wrote. It was a short little comedy sketch, and basically the Doctor burned through all of his lives, and then became a blonde woman. I think Moffat has been planning this for a while now.
Yeah, probably.
That's just my little conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I think Moffat has been, because Moffat's been doing, what, all of Capaldi?
All of Capaldi and all of Smith.
Yeah, Moffat did all of Capaldi, all of Smith. Moffat's responsible for Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah. He's been playing this since the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
He's been playing this since before Doctor Who came back.
Yeah.
He's been playing this before Paul McGann was the Doctor.
Oh, that was long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moffat, we're on to you.
You thought you could get away with it.
You thought no one would notice.
We know. And you would have gotten away with it if it weren't for us meddling kids. Actually, did get away with it. We just noticed.
Yeah, we haven't put a stop to it. Yet.
We'll angrily sign a petition.
I want my angry Scottish men back.
I want a bald Doctor.
Has there been a bald Doctor? I mean, the first one was partially bald, but I don't think...
Nope.
No. Eccleston had really short hair.
That doesn't count.
I know.
He was bald he was bald-ish by choice.
I know.
Here's just my...
I just want another fun Doctor. I don't care whether it's male or female. I want another fun Doctor.
Just from the couple seconds she's been on scene, I think Jodie Whittaker's going to be kind of like that.
Oh yeah, so do I.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we're going to have another Exile on Earth storyline.
Yeah, probably.
Because the TARDIS just warped off. I mean, it's done that before, usually when Ice Warriors are around. Like, literally, watch any episode of New Who with the Ice Warriors, TARDIS just nopes out of there the second they land.
Mm-hmm.
But it then just comes back because reasons. Or they find it.
Well, the Doctor does have his summoning keys.
Well, yeah. But I'm hoping that the next season is just going to be an Exile on Earth thing, kind of like 3 had. And I just have a feeling that 13 is going to be that crazy homeless lady living in a junkyard trying to rebuild a TARDIS summoner out of garbage.
I wouldn't mind...
Just from the pictures on set I've seen, at least.
I wouldn't mind that for 5 episodes in the season, but I don't want the entire season to be that.
That sounds reasonable.
I'll give it 5 episodes at max for an Exile on Earth, but I don't want the entire season to be Exile on Earth. I want to see Whittaker's TARDIS. I want to see what Whittaker does outside of Earth.
Yeah.
So I'll give her a shot. If it does turn into an Exile on Earth thing, I'll give it a shot. But I don't want it to be the entire season.
Yeah. And, by the way, we may or may not be doing weekly, hey, there's a new episode, let's talk about it videos once the new series starts.
We probably will be.
Yeah, if we can get in touch enough to do it.
Yeah. And if we can't, we'll probably be doing, we'll probably set up a thing where he does one episode and I'll do the next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the Christmas special, back to that.
Yeah.
I still think that if they wanted to play up with the differences between the first Doctor and the new Doctors, I feel like this should have been done in the Smith era.
Yeah.
Because, you gotta admit, you would love to see that.
But we gotta see what would happen when the War Doctor met Tennant and Smith, and I feel like the first Doctor wouldn't be much different.
Mm-hmm.
With his dicky bow and his sand shoes.
And his chin.
My associate sand shoes and granddad.
Yeah, But I did like a lot of David Bradley's lines, like the bit where he walks into Capaldi's TARDIS on accident.
Yeah.
And and in the background you can hear the normal, it's bigger on the inside stuff. Where David Bradley's just like, my TARDIS, what has happened to my TARDIS? It's hideous. Have I been burgled?
Yeah. So, one of the things I don't like is that I know it's like future Doctor meeting past Doctor. The past Doctor's not going to recognize the future Doctor, the future will recognize... They always get in a fight. Whenever the Doctor meets himself, the past never believes that the future him is him. He's like, no, you're not me. You can't be me. You have a bow tie.
Well, that's only happened twice in the new series. From what I've seen in the classic
Do
series...
you remember the... I know it technically wasn't an episode, but do you remember the short where Tennant met Five?
Yes.
Five refused to believe that Tennant was him. Every single time, even if it's in a short or a little mini skit, the Doctor refuses to believe that he is himself. And I don't like it.
I mean, if you just came across if you just found yourself in a place and there was this random dude and like, that looked nothing like you, was like, I'm you from the future, would you believe him right away?
If I had a constant regeneration cycle every time I died, yes. Probably. If he had enough evidence that he was me, and I had a constant regeneration cycle every time I died, there's a good chance that I would.
Well, he didn't... Well, at that point, he wasn't really providing that much evidence. They were just like, oh yeah, I'm me. And they didn't believe him in Day of the Doctor until he whipped out their screwdrivers, or
That's
when
true.
he showed him he was regenerating.
That's true.
And besides, you've seen what happens when the Doctor just believes some random idiot is him.
Yeah.
I really liked that episode, though.
I hated that episode.
I liked it, but I admit it's not that good.
I watched it once and then never... I watched it a couple times, but then completely avoided it.
Like, from what I've seen of Classic Who, when the Doctors meet, they're like, oh yeah, this is definitely me. I know this guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, how would you rate this episode?
Out of all the Christmas specials, or just this episode in general?
I was going to rate it out of letter grades, but you can rate it in larflargs as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, so out of all the Christmas specials that I've seen, my favorite would be Tennant's last special. I'd probably put this a couple below that.
Tennant's last special was very...
It's one where he regenerated.
Yeah, I know. That episode was just completely reversed engineered from the Master Race line.
Yeah, so I liked the Time of the Doctor. I would put this Christmas special just a couple below that. I'd probably give this an 8 out of 10.
I'd give this
A out of 10? I know it was a number.
I'd give this a C+.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It had some really good moments between the Doctor, the Captain, and the Doctor.
Wait, I want to change it to a 7 out of 10 because Bill was in it.
Yeah. But Bill and they overdid one's sexism.
Yeah.
I mean, remind us that the writers were kind of sexist back then, even though the show was ironically created by a woman.
Yeah.
Remind us that the characters were kind of sexist back then, but don't write it into a stone tablet and carve a frying pan out of that stone tablet and then cast that stone tablet in iron and then beat us over the head with said stone tablet covered in iron and turned into a frying pan.
Yeah, I know. They overdid the sexism.
Yeah, if they had gotten rid of about half of it, I would have been fine with it.
Yeah.
And for those of you wondering, my favorite Christmas special is The Husbands of River Song, and I'd put this a little below that one on my list.
I need to go back and rewatch
They've like
that.
two or three below it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 2 or 3 below my favorite.
Yeah.
I need to go back and rewatch Husbands of River Song.
Yeah.
I remember nothing of that episode.
Yeah. I'll admit that episode was a bit corny at times.
Yeah.
And the main villain was basically a Christmas toy with swappable heads. But it had some good scenes between River and the Doctor, and I feel like that makes up for it, so.
Yeah.
So.
I just want to see what they do in the future now that Whittaker's the Doctor, and they've basically killed off every single one of the Doctor's past friends that he always ends up meeting. Like, because Captain Jack Harkness is dead, River's dead.
Well, he's not dead. He got re-immortalized at the end of Torchwood, so.
Into the face of Bo.
Well, there's a few billion years between the end of Torchwood and the face of Bo.
That's true, but River's gone. She can never meet the Doctor again.
Well...
Technically, I guess she could, because she's never met Whittaker.
Well, she lived with 12 for 23 years on Darillium.
Yeah.
If they want to do a multi-Doctor story with 12 and 13, they could bring River back for it.
They could, but they could never do a River meets Whittaker. They were barely able to do a River meets Capaldi, and like she didn't even believe that Capaldi was him. She's like, "My husband's dead. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, I'm just saying that. Well, she didn't say he was dead. He doesn't have that many faces. You can't be him.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that they could do an episode if set in the 23 years between where River and the Doctor were living. River and 12 were living together on Darillium.
That's true. They could.
Yeah.
So they have 23 years of River to work with. Even if Capaldi's not in it, just River wandered off to meet for future Doctors.
Yeah.
But so we have no River. We have most likely no Jack.
Yeah, I mean, they killed John Barrowman off of Arrow, and he still refuses to reprise his role as Jack.
Which is really disappointing. I want Jack back.
Yeah, and he was really good on Arrow. They didn't have to kill him. Kill Thea instead.
This is getting way off topic.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to what is to come.
Yeah. I expect at least 5 sexism jokes for the episode set in the past?
I'll give it 3.
Bit optimistic.
4.
I'm the doctor. No, you're a woman.
Yeah. That's true.
Just replace the guy saying that with a Ferengi. Females can't be doctors. Human.
Yeah, she'll have a hard time going back into the days where sexism was a major thing.
Martha managed to walk around the 1500s without being abducted as a slave.
Yeah, but she did get a lot of racism. Like, there were a lot of racist remarks.
Yeah, but they wrote that off as, oh, the really, 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 really 1500s level racist shit was PC at the time, so it's cool, it's cool.
Yeah, that's true. That was...
The only time they actually accepted the past was racist was that one episode with Bill, where the doctor punches the racist dude.
Yeah. I can't think of the dude's name. There was one episode that I recently watched that Martha was in, and it was during World War I believe. The dude was being racist.
Oh, it
Or
was
the
with,
Victory of the Daleks.
no, that was with Amy.
Victory of the Daleks? Oh, that was with Amy.
Yeah, Churchill might have been a little sexist in that episode, but are you
He
thinking...
was sexist, that's what, yeah. But,
Yeah, but
there
are you
was
think-
another one with it.
Human Nature and the Family of Blood. When Martha and the doctor, I think he was John Smith, were at the school in the early 1800s, right before, in the military college, right before World War I, some of the students there were racist to Martha.
Yes.
And that was, like, really passive-aggressive racist.
It was still racist.
Yeah, I mean, they can't go full-on,
I know.
like...
You can't hide from the past. It happened.
They can't go full-on... I mean, this is a family show. They can't go on and have people in the past calling his companions the N-word, but...
Yeah, no. Still, you still can't hide from the past, though. There
Yeah.
was racism back then. There was sexism back then.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a shonen show. I got no problem.
Yeah. Just don't overdo it like they did with David Bradley's Doctor.
Exactly. Any extra or any last thoughts before we end this?
Thinking about getting some water. Now I'm thinking about
Any
Portal
last
2.
thoughts that have anything to do with this Christmas special?
Why were the Daleks face huggers?
I know, that was my first thought. Wait, they're head humpers? But then they're like, oh, they're Daleks. Why are the Daleks head humpers?
We have very different names for that type of thing. I go aliens, you go Half-Life.
Yeah.
I think this is the second time in a Capaldi episode. And this is the second time in a Capaldi Christmas special with head humpers.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This is the second Capaldi Christmas special where they had head humpers.
I can't believe there are 2 Capaldi Christmas specials with head humpers.
I love it. And then the first one, Santa was there.
Yeah. Santa and the head humpers.
That would make for a great band. Like, just imagine a hardcore Christmas band that basically turns Christmas carols into death metal called Santa and the Headhumpers. Jingle bells! Hey, we're Santa and Headhumpers, are you ready to have a good time? And I think that's a great note to end this video. If you liked it, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe. Leave comments below. I still need suggestions on anime to do stuff on for a future project.
Potassium!
Cyanide!